Oh, hey, good evening, everybody. I am Chuck Rogers, licensed professional counselor and licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm Keith Dunn, and I am a network engineer.
And he's a great one, and together we're Tabletop Coffee.
Yep, where we are bold and never, ever bitter.
And tonight we're talking about why can't we? Stay tuned, and we'll talk about it. So, yeah, this whole thing about why can't we has been bubbling inside of me for a few weeks now. You know, I guess you could call it, why can't we get along? Why can't we solve problems? Why can't we communicate? Why can't we, you fill in the
Oh, yeah, that's right.
of what that's going to be.
Right.
Why can't we do this? And this happened a few weeks ago. I usually work almost every Saturday, but one particular Saturday I didn't have an individual or a couple. Usually it's a couple comes in for an intensive on Saturdays, and this particular Saturday I didn't have anyone.
Okay.
But at, let me see what time this was in the morning. I think 11:45 a.m. I think it was. I had this email to come in.
Okay.
From this wonderful lady. I'd seen her and her husband in for an intensive at some point in the past, and they did super well. They followed up once or twice after that. We're working on things in my office really well, working on things at home very well. And then this email comes in and says, "Hi Chuck, I know this is a long shot, but I was wondering if you might have 30 minutes or so for a follow-up this weekend. We hit a speed bump yesterday. I thought after we had time to deflood, we would be able to address between ourselves. However, this morning, we are still not speaking. I'm really not even sure where to go from here."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt bad.
Right. It does.
It really felt awful. And so I wanted to reach out. I had the time.
Right.
But, last week in our video, we were talking about various things, and you and I are believers, and then you hear stuff kind of in your spirit. And I had this thing in me that says, don't call.
Okay.
Don't reach out. It's a Saturday, and, it's like, don't call. And the reason was because I was thinking they really can do this for themselves. I know these guys. They're very relationally skilled.
Right.
They can do this. And so I let it go. And I thought, well, maybe I'll reach out on Sunday after the Daily Bread, after I get my nap, and maybe we'll have a conversation on Sunday evening.
Okay.
And then come Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, I was ready to reach out again. And again, this thing in my spirit's like, no, don't. They can do this. Just let this go. Reach out on Monday morning.
Okay.
So, Monday morning rolls around, and let's see, 8:37 a.m. the following Monday morning. I said, "Good morning. Thanks for the email and for reaching out. I'm so sorry for the distance and the struggle. I know it is so heavy. I'm not in the office. However, I can chat by phone between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. if that would work for you. Let me know. If that doesn't work for you, we'll keep planning. Talk soon. Blessings, Chuck."
Okay.
And send it out.
Right.
It wasn't too terribly long. 11:08 a.m. She replies, "Thank you for your reply. We were finally able to talk through things using the methods we learned from you during our sessions. It just took a little longer than I thought it should. I am still so thankful for the communication skills you taught us."
Yeah.
How about that,
Good.
right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think that we get into situations at times and we know what to do, but sometimes I don't know whether it's we get flooded or we have other things that take over in our life and we're just not putting things into practice that we've learned and we know.
Yeah.
But you allowed enough time to go by.
I did, 2 days.
Yeah, so that gave them some wiggle room to say, okay, I need to figure this out because we don't want to, be having problems continually through the weekend. I'm sure that's probably what they were thinking.
Probably, yeah.
Especially since they were able to work this out. But the great thing is they were able to go back to your email that you sent them.
I do. I send every couple I work
Right.
with, I send a very extensive email. Do this, do this, do this, do this.
Right. And then having that checklist and going through and saying, okay, we know what to do. let's give this a try again and move forward. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it was kind of uncomfortable because I thought I probably could be helpful.
Right.
But I thought, no, this is something they can do. They need to be able to do this. And they
Right.
did. Now, I don't know if they solved it on Saturday or
Right.
sometime on Sunday or
Sure.
Monday. Was it a totally miserable weekend?
Sure.
I don't know the answer to that question, but I did. I knew them, and I knew that they could do that. I love these guys. I think they're great. Very, very relationally skilled, comfortable
Right.
people that worked super hard. They just needed to go ahead and mindfully put into practice the things that they really did know how to do.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It's kind of like I'm oftentimes reminded of, the skills I learned in physical therapy, the exercises, that sometimes my shoulder starts hurting. I need to get out my paper
Right.
and do the exercises on the paper, and it isn't too long usually before the pain goes away.
Yeah.
I just need to be reminded that those are the things that I need to do.
Yeah, and I think that's true in other situations as well. I think about, with my kids, there are so many times where they'll be dealing with something. Maybe the car is broken down, or the refrigerator's not working correctly, or something else is broken down, and they can always call me because they know that I can walk them through on what needs to be done. But there are times when I do that as well, maybe not 2 days, but I'll wait for a couple of hours to let them go through that process and figure it out.
Yeah.
Because if they don't go through that process on their own, then they will never feel completely sure of themselves. So, it also builds positive reinforcement for them to go through that as well.
It is.
So I think it's something similar to that.
Yeah, I think sometimes the good questions to ask is, what is it that we have done before that has worked?
Right.
Have we stopped doing that? If that's the case, then that's the very first thing that we need to do is go back and do what we used to do in the past.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that will kind of take care of whatever it is that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you liked our content. If you did, would you subscribe? Because Keith would really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. We want you to be number 1067.
That'd be great.
Be sure and ding that bell as well so you're notified of upcoming episodes.
Make sure to like it. Thanks, everyone.
Share it with your friends.